There are things that most people ignore. Minor horrors that when they hear them out loud, send a shiver down their spine, because they know they've experienced it at least once. Welcome to the land of ice and snow, Alaska, where the only question that you ever really get is, wow, people actually live there? 15 years ago, a small plane crashed into the side of Mount Susitna. On winter nights, when the mountain is swathed in fog, a glow can be faintly glimpsed at the crash site.
There is one particular roadside coffee stand which always smells strongly of Wolverine musk. No one ever stops there a second time, but somehow they stay open. Your friend said she heard the barista can cure the flu with her coffee, and it's not very good coffee.
The glacier upriver calves on the second Friday of every month at precisely 10 minutes past noon.
Every once in a while, the mudflats swallow someone. The locals just shake their head and mutter, the tithe must be paid after all. World-class clamming beaches come with a price.
You're hiking in Hatcher Pass and come across a tiny bird skeleton. By the time you've fetched your friend to come look, it's gone. In its place rests an equally tiny gold nugget, which later vanishes from your wallet.
They say that when the fireweed have all bloomed, summer is almost over. One patch next to the railroad tracks in Palmer is the exception, blooming through the fall and winter. Tourists foolish enough to pick one of these soon learn the consequences.
25 black pickup trucks pass you, headed north on a small gravel road. The windows are too tinted to see the drivers, but each truck bears the same bumper sticker. Get naked, 907. You turn around and drive south as quickly as you possibly can. Your mother warned you about this phenomenon.
The Good Friday earthquake broke more than the land. Around here, it's always referred to as the earthquake.
A raven spirals overhead as you fish in a quiet creek. You seem to hear a voice say, "Move on!" You walk a few steps along the bank, and a bear crashes through the brush just where you were standing. It looks at you a moment, and then it too moves on.
The aurora shines above your house every night. It traces strange words in blue and scintillating green. And one night it writes your name in trailing script, and you felt safe.
You go ice fishing in winter. You stand with the line disappearing into the hole cut into the ice. The exposed water is as black as a pupil. Nothing under the ice is visible. Fish take the hook and the line jerks at the same tempo as an unknown person tapping the nape of your neck with their pointer finger. Each one is pulled into the gray winter light, thrashing and fighting in the cold. You fish until something pulls the line down hard. Harder. Too hard to hold, and your pole bends in half until the string snaps. That is when you know it is time to move off the ice.
Every day in the distance, the mountains stand up like the arching spines of some ancient subterranean dwelling creature swimming through the earth. Every day you see the purple flanks, the dribbles in the fields of snow receding to the peaks in summer, crawling down low toward the town as winter comes. Every day the mountains creep closer. Every day you are nearer to their foothills. Every day the mountains. Every day the mountains. Every day. Every day.
You feed the ravens. They learn your face and bring their friends and family. They talk to you with all the strange sounds and gurgles and croaks that they can produce. You feed the ravens and they begin to bring you gifts in return. Buttons and discarded paper clips, ticket stubs, hanks of bright thread, small bones, more small bones. A tiny skull to match. You realize that the bones can fit together to make a strange skeleton. You realize that you have no idea what kind of creature this skeleton could go to, and you quickly stop feeding the ravens.
In a small room in Fairbanks, they have tuned music to sing along with the earth. It booms for tremors and shrills high for sunrise, and those who enter can spend hours in its grasp. When they emerge, they remember nothing. When they emerge, they feel drawn. The land here loves its people so much it wants to swallow them alive and whole.
It's blueberry season. People and bears zigzag across the mountainsides, picking as much tart fruit as they can. Some take the opportunity to divest themselves of other things. A grizzly bear shambles away into the tree line, cradling a swaddled human child in its hairy forearm, murmuring to it lovingly in its bear language. You look closely at your own berries, and you say nothing.
On the drive to Fairbanks, you encounter a herd of caribou walking along the road. You tap your brakes and glide into their midst. Antlers bounce around you, heavy heads bob up and down as the herd lopes along. You can no longer see the road. You can see only caribou. You can see another car in the distance crawling along through a herd of caribou which extends to the horizon.
The summer nights trick you into staying up late. The summer nights aren't really night at all. The summer nights are filled with air so soft as down, soft light that paints everything you see with the richness of each color that was buried in it under the hard night of the sun. The soft summer nights invite you to work in the garden. The earth is dense and cold, but the light softens it. You work in the garden all summer. Finally, the days are shorter and you realize how long it's been since you stopped. How long it's been since you've slept. You have spent all summer in your garden, all those months without sleep. The fireweed bloom high on the stalk. The mosquitoes hum to you from the lupin. Now winter is coming to lock you in your skin.
The vegetables at the state fair are leafy and green. The vegetables at the state fair are bigger than you. I looked after this baby all night long, whispers the withered gardener. Next to their prize-winning cabbage, which is as long as a horse, the cabbage draws your eyes. You can't possibly look away. You stand staring at the cabbage, staring and staring, infused with the desire to sleep, feeling thin and hungry and bereft, as withered as the gardener. The cabbage looks larger and more verdant and more robust than ever.
You are pretty damn sure you had a neighbor yesterday. You're sure of it. But when you walk the trail between your properties, there's no sign of their house. You recall their faces, but not their names. The distance between you and the next nearest living human being continues to grow.
On the longest night of the year, you wake at midnight to a high noon sun. Its blinding light renders the snow a featuring glimmerless white. You cannot even see the trees.
You come back from the outhouse to find the door to your cabin locked. You see movement through the window, and you live alone.
When the snow finally melts, you find something that you lost years ago in another state, another life. It is something you hoped to never find again.
Your roommate brushes her teeth and spits out blood. She looks thin, almost gaunt, even though she's been eating constantly for the past week. It occurs to you that you haven't seen her boyfriend around lately. She smiles at you, and her teeth are sharp and cold.
You own 3 off-roading vehicles. You cannot remember officially purchasing one. You do not have the titles for them. You have 4 off-roading vehicles.
The sun disappears for 3 months at a time. You wake up in the dark. You leave your home in the dark. You return home in the dark. The darkness is ever present. It blankets you. It comforts you. Do not think about what is in the dark, or the strange new people that show up only during these winter months.
The sun doesn't set for months at a time. It follows you, heavy and sullen. You cannot hide from it. You cannot escape. It follows. It waits. You may never sleep again.
You are constantly reminded how small and insignificant you are by the mountains and the tundra and the endless sky. You feel like you are alone, but are you really? The cracking in the forest suggests otherwise.
The state promises you money every October. The check disappears before ever being deposited into your account. You own 5 off-roading vehicles.
Barely anyone goes up into the old mines anymore. The last time a large group went in, only one person came out. Their wide, staring eyes told you enough.
Sometimes children don't come home from field trips. No one will meet your eyes when you ask what happened, and all of them mutter something about an old native man being right about something. After that, you stop asking. Maybe the old native man was right about it, whatever it is.
So good night, listeners, and know that the messages written in the Aurora Borealis are meant for you.